Hello everyone, this is Erik, the Asian movie enthusiast, and this is my review of The Longest Nite, a Hong Kong crime action thriller from 1998. So caught in the middle of a fierce gang war in Macao, a corrupt cop, played by Tony Leung Chiu-wai, is attempting to preserve negotiations between two Triad leaders who plan to join forces. But he meets a suspicious man, played by Lau Ching-wan, who continues to disrupt the potential truce. So these gangs have been engaged in a violent feud for about 8 months, 8 consecutive months at this point, and many people just want this conflict to end. Fortunately, it would seem that both sides are ready to form an alliance, primarily because a big boss man is returning to the area after a long hiatus, and his return could spell disaster for both gangs. So, like they say, the enemy of my enemy is my friend, so a truce makes sense and gives them a greater chance of survival. But a rumor surfaces that one Triad boss has taken a hit contract on the other, even though they're trying to make this truce, so it could throw a monkey wrench into the process. So The Longest Nite does a good job at creating a dangerous scenario where some characters are walking on eggshells because they want the truce to be solidified, and other characters are trying to cause problems to disrupt this alliance. So this creates the potential for some interesting interaction. And if we combine this and two of Hong Kong's best actors who are at the top of their game here, we end up with something really special. I need to make this clear. There are dramatic scenes in The Longest Nite that are absolutely electrifying. The prison cell interrogation is likely the best sequence because the performances are outstanding and the script sets it up nicely. But there's great stuff littered all over the place. There's a scene in a taxi that's pretty fun. There's a scene in an elevator that's pretty entertaining as well. Leung and Wan are intense and utterly compelling from start to finish. They're both fantastic in this. Now, during the opening hour, this is more of like a suspense thriller than an action flick. But it's very fast-paced stuff. That's only 80 minutes long. The whole film is 80 minutes. Flies right by, and the filmmakers do a great job of keeping the viewer on edge, with the boat station sequence being a standout moment. That occurs during the latter half, but it's still, I think, during the suspense sequence, section of the film. But then when the action finally hits, it's mostly backloaded towards the end. It hits pretty hard, and it's very exciting stuff. The glass-shattering finale is highly entertaining and satisfying. Things do get pretty violent at times, but it never feels gratuitous. The violence is earned, and it's portrayed in a very thrilling manner. The Longest Nite is very stylishly directed and fun to watch. The camera moves a lot in this film, but in very, smooth ways. There's a lot of tracking shots and, slow zooms and stuff like that. It has a very nice rhythm to it that keeps you glued to the screen. As an added bonus, you get some nice atmosphere of Macao at night with lots of city lights on display. I also really enjoyed the scoring and music. That's a good thing because the music is used a lot in this movie as a backdrop. You could definitely hear a few influences from prior films, but I like the composition and it complemented or accentuated the impact of most scenes. Toss in a few surprises and you've got yourself a pretty fantastic film here. I like the ending, too. The only problem I kind of had with The Longest Nite is that some things during the final half hour, specifically, get a little bit unrealistic. For example, I mentioned the boat station sequence, which is a highlight of the film. But the person who set their plan into motion needed some, random people to do certain things at certain times, which did feel a little bit artificial and improbable, but really, that's kind of a minor gripe because the rest of the film is just so damn entertaining. The director here is a man by the name of Patrick Yao, who has a very small filmography that also includes The Odd One Dies from 1997, which is a good movie. And there's another film he directed from 1998 that I will be reviewing this week. So it would seem that Yao was kind of gaining momentum with his career during the late 90s, but his career never really seemed to take off much after that, at least in terms of big-name theatrical films. That's a shame because he seems to have some real talent. The Longest Nite was produced by Johnny To. He does not have an official credit as director, but I have seen him as kind of a ghost director, like an uncredited director in certain places, so I'm not sure if he kind of co-directed this off the books, so to speak. But when all is said and done, The Longest Nite is one of my favorite Hong Kong action thrillers of all time. It's pure, no-nonsense display of awesomeness. If you're even remotely interested in Hong Kong action flicks, this is a must-see. It's currently available on Amazon streaming in the United States. When you search for it, use the spelling for night, that is N-I-G-H-T, instead of N-I-T-E, and you'll probably find it easily. Check this one out. And as always, we'll see you next time.